everyone, and welcome to Lying Around Connecticut with Carol and Harry. I am Carol Kearns. My husband, Harry Shue, is our co-host. Our mission for the show is twofold: to provide information about Connecticut Lions events and to showcase the many different organizations and causes that Lions support locally, regionally, and internationally. Harry?
Good evening and welcome. Please consult our website at www.lions23b.org or your district spirit for more information on coming events.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lying Around Connecticut with Carol and Harry.
We are back at St. Clement's Castle in Portland, Connecticut for the Humanitarians Banquet hosted by District 23C. And we are going to pick up with animal trainer and humanitarian Bill Berloni. So, on with the show.
En avant.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bill Berloni, and I'm so honored to be here today in a room filled with people who do stuff for other people. Well, we had a class advisor named Mrs. Dupna, and I was terrified. I didn't want any attention. I didn't want to be up on stage. And so the first, class meeting we had, I got up there, I was shaking, and I was trying to read the notes, and they were throwing spitballs at me. It was just one of those experiences that you just want to forget. And I said to Mrs. Dupna, our advisor, I said, I can't do this. And she was like, Billy, don't care what other people say about you. Just do your best. Just try your best. So the next class meeting, got up there, started reading. Same thing happened, chaos, and I got so angry. I just yelled, "Shut up!" And the whole room got quiet. It was at that point that I realized when you're on this side of the microphone, nobody talks to you, right? You don't have to have a conversation because you're doing all the talking, and people listen. So I thought that was a pretty good place to be for a shy kid. Well, not only did I was I class president, but one day I was going by the auditorium and the drama club was meeting. Now, I wasn't athletic, wasn't smart, but the drama club had 13 girls and 1 gay kid, so I thought my chance of getting a date in that club, I'm joining that club. So now I'm like acting. Let me tell you about acting, if you're shy. When you're in a play, you're saying lines that other people have written, and they're usually funny, they're usually intelligent, right? So you sound and you become somebody else who is usually better than you are. So I decided I wanted to become an actor, much to my parents' dismay. First generation American, you're going to Central Connecticut State College, you're going to become a teacher. Ma, really, I want to become an actor. Well, fortunately my parents supported me in that decision, even though they didn't think it was a smart one. But instead of spending my summers having fun, I decided I wanted to learn everything I could about professional theater. So fast forward to the Goodspeed Opera House, which is right here down the river in East Haddam. And they had summer programs where they invite kids to be apprentices. Sit down, Ruth. You've heard this story. You're looking at the roast beef over there, right? So I applied and became an apprentice at the Goodspeed Opera House. So the summer after high school and my first summer after college, I was down there building scenery. It was professional actors. And the Goodspeed is dedicated to the American musical theater. They do revivals, and they usually introduce 1 new musical every year. So in the summer of 1976, they decided to do a musical about Little Orphan Annie. So after they announced it and everything, they read the script and it was like, oh yeah, there's a dog in it. So the producer at that time called New York trainers, and they were way too expensive. And so he went to everybody on the paid staff, and they all threatened to quit. So he needed a sucker. I remember being called into the producer's office. Billy, sit down, have a chair. I thought I was going to be fired. I didn't know why I was there. And he said, how would you like a part in one of our shows and your equity card? Now, I'm 19 years old. I have the chance to be in a professional show as an actor. I'm thinking, he's recognized my acting ability, by the way. I've been moving scenery for the last few years. This man's amazing. I said, yes, Mr. Price, I'd love that. said, all you have to do is find and train a dog for the new show for no money. Okay, sure, whatever, you know. And I remember leaving his office and calling my parents and telling them all about it, and about 3 days later I realized what I had agreed to: finding and training a dog. And he gave me $35, this is summer of '76, to find the dog, buy it, and feed it all summer. Now, someone said they had cheap dogs at the animal shelter. Okay. So one day I decided to go shopping for dogs. And, you know, when my collie died, of course, we went to the pet shop and we bought a beagle, we named him Snoopy. So I had never been to an animal shelter. So one Monday afternoon, I decided to take one of the trucks and I'm going to go casting for Sandy, the role that's in the play. And I start here in Middletown, come up the river from East Haddam, go to the Middletown Pound. And as they come around, I see dogs in chain link run cages outside in their own feces in horrible conditions. And I'm thinking, boy, the people in Middletown are really bad to their animals. You know, and then I went up to Cromwell, same thing. Went up to New Britain. And I was sort of really taken back by the fact that we were treated animals so badly, when to me, they were part of my family, they were my friends. And I ended up at the Connecticut Humane Society. Well, back then, this was before the new building, they had 2 long buildings with 50 runs in each run. So I'm walking down one of the runs, and of course the dogs are barking, and it's so loud. And they're jumping, and urine is being sprayed in my face, and it smells bad. And I got to the end, and there was one dog who wasn't moving, and I turned, and he was a sandy color. And so I sort of knelt down, and I put my hand out, and he came over very timidly. And then one of the attendants came by, and he ran to the back of the cage. So I tried talking to him, but it was too loud. So we go back to the office. Now imagine, again, I'm 19 years old, pimply. Hi, my name is Bill Berloni, and I'm doing a show at the Goodspeed, and we need a dog. Can I take a picture of this dog? And the guy's looking at me like I have 2 heads. He's like, do you want the dog? I'm like, no, I have to take a picture, and the director has to approve it. He says, well, you have to take the dog now. I said, why? Because he's going to be put to sleep tomorrow. Now, I didn't know what that means. I'm like, what? Well, his time's up. We're going to kill him tomorrow. So now I'm standing there, and I'm thinking, I didn't know we killed animals. You know, I didn't know they had expiration dates in society. So I said, can I put a deposit down on him? And he said, no, you have to adopt him now. And I said, how much? And he said, $7. I reached in my pocket, I had 3, because I'd had lunch. And when he saw I had $3, he kicked me out. He was like, son, kid, just get out of here. I ran back to the Opera House. Nobody would approve this dog. I had taken some pictures. And I laid in bed that night, just mortified. I mean, I just didn't know humans treated pets like that. And I was complaining to everybody. And finally, my roommate says, idiot, here's the $4, go back tomorrow before they open, which is exactly what I did. And I adopted the original Sandy. Now, he had been abused by people. So when I brought him back to the Goodspeed, I had to drag him in and said, look, I found our Sandy. And they all thought, how are you going to train that dog to be on stage? And of course, the Italian kicked in, and I was like, I don't know, we'll just feed him some pasta. I mean, I had no idea how to train a dog. But what I did know was that my dog was never on a leash. He always followed me. He wanted to be with me because I treated him like my companion and not my pet. So I thought if we can make Sandy think the theater is his home, the cast is his family, maybe he would do something on stage, which is exactly what we did. I would bring him to the shop with me where we built the scenery, and it's almost over. We built the scenery. I would bring him to the theater with me at night, and then rehearsals started. Now, I taught him how to sit. I taught him how to do paw. I mean, I taught him what everybody teaches a dog. And they said, Bill, you've got to start rehearsals with the actor. I'm like, oh, crap. So I come into the rehearsal room, and there's a young woman whose name was Kristen Weigard. And she runs up to Sandy, and she starts petting him. She goes, so what are we going to do? I'm like, you know, let's play ball with him. I didn't know what else to say. So she took the ball and started throwing it, and they started playing, and that wonderful thing that happens between children and animals started. He started to fall in love with this kid. So by the time we got to the show, when I had Sandy in the wing and he had to go to the center stage, he wasn't performing, he was just going to his best friend. You know, and the show got terrible reviews at this meeting. At the end of the summer, the director said to me, "What are you going to do with the dog?" I'm like, "Well, I'll give him to my mom, because I'm going to New York to be an actor." Call my mom. "You going to take Sandy?" She's like, "No, I have your other dog. You have to take care of him." So Sandy and I moved to New York. We lived in a fifth floor walk-up in Greenwich Village that didn't allow dogs. Had 2 roommates. Snuck him in one night in the middle of the night, and I would walk him on the roof. I would just take him up to the roof, go to the bathroom. And I was auditioning, I was going to New York University, and then Mike Nichols, the famous director, producer, called. His office called and said they were doing Annie for Broadway. Would I be interested in being the dog trainer? And at that point, I was like, sure, I'll be a dog trainer to be on Broadway. Well, except by then, Andrea McCardle had taken over the role. She and Sandy were inseparable, and the show opened in 1977 in New York and became an international hit, and at the age of 20, I became a world-famous animal trainer. Now, next thing I know, they're calling me a humanitarian for using a rescue dog in a show. At that point, when I first saw Sandy, and I had to leave him, I made a promise to myself. I said, when I grow up, if I ever get another dog, I'm going to rescue it. So when the producers said to me, "Bill, what are you going to do about the understudy?" I was like, "Well, I'll work with the other kid." They were like, "No, understudy dog." I hadn't thought about that. So I went to the shelter and I got Sandy's first understudy. Well, that was about 235 dogs ago, all rescues. And as Mary was saying, I'm known for going to pounds and getting dogs for shows. I've done 27 Broadway shows. We've done films, we've done TV shows, and all along the way, we use those platforms to remind people that there are perfectly good animals that need homes in animal shelters, and that anybody else, any one of you could have walked into the shelter before I did and adopted this dog right here. So it's not anything that I do. I continue to train with positive reinforcement. One of the things my parents taught to me as immigrants was that you should respect everybody. Well, to that young boy, that everybody included the animal world. So I treat animals with respect. And so as opposed to telling them what to do, we find ways to make it fun, and we do things together. So that's how Macy here, I adopted her 10 years ago from a shelter in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. She also was on death row. Her story was even more not tragic, but harrowing as Sandy. She ended up in a kill shelter in Oklahoma City. They gave her 10 days. The staff loved her so much, they kept switching her cage card so she would get euthanized. Boss found out, and they're like, "You got to get rid of this dog." So they enrolled her in a program at the Oklahoma City Penitentiary where the inmates train dogs. So off she went to jail for 6 months. Graduated top of her class in obedience, and at the ceremony didn't get adopted. Because she wasn't a hound, she wasn't a hunting dog, she was, just a mutt. Was sent back to the kill shelter. Where, of course, the staff was like, we can't believe this dog is back. So, as her time was closing, they appealed to a Dalmatian rescue group. They called this woman and said, "Please, just take this dog in. She's really good. We don't want her to be euthanized." So I found her on Petminder, got on a plane, flew to Oklahoma City, went way out on a farm, and drove up to a driveway with 120 Dalmatians, and there she was sitting on a couch. It was like, and I was like, "Girl, you got to get out of here. This is not your room." So Macy is like the #1 Sandy in the country. She just got back from doing Annie in Maine. She's going to Minneapolis in a month to do it there for 3 months, and continues to delight audiences all over. So, again, we don't grow up choosing to do service for other people or for other objects. And in this case, everything in my life that's come has come from doing good for others. And in this case, the others were four-legged creatures. So to be in a room with people who do good for two-legged creatures is very close to my heart. So here we are. I would normally demonstrate something, but everybody outside of these three tables would not see it. That's why we're up on stage. And I know we have a lot of wonderful awards to give out. And so thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Later, you all can come and meet Sandy. You can take pictures with Sandy. We're going to stay here. So that's going to be the time that you can ask questions and get to know her. And thank you for having us. And let's have a wonderful lunch and then honor the people we have who are real humanitarians.
District Governor Diana. And PDG Lorna Rowe, can you stand, please, and be acknowledged? I forgot her. Extra, 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 read all about it. Did you get everybody's attention? I did, didn't I? We're here today to make headlines that we don't see very often. Something I wish we saw much more of. Highlighting, or spotlighting, if you will, the good that people do. Feel-good stories that make people proud. Make their days better, and maybe even give them hope. All the things that we do to help our fellow man that happen every day, but are somehow not brought to the forefront of our everyday news. We are here to honor 13 of those outstanding citizens by the Lions Clubs in their communities. I'd like to give you just a little background of our great organization. We were started by a Chicago insurance man by the name of Melvin Jones in 1917. He believed that local business clubs should expand their horizons from purely professional concerns to the betterment of their communities and the world at large. Since that humble beginning, Lion Club members have volunteered their time and talents to meet the needs wherever they exist. Lions are especially dedicated to serving the blind and visually impaired, a commitment made after Helen Keller challenged our members to become her Knights of the Blind in the crusade against darkness during the 1925 convention in Cedar Point, Ohio. However, we do much more than that all these years later. Presently, the 5 initiatives of Lions Clubs International are vision, hunger, the environment, diabetes, and childhood cancer. Every dollar that is donated by the public goes back out to the communities. Our motto, "We serve," perfectly exemplifies the dedication to helping those in need by Lions worldwide. We are the world's largest and most active service club. Our group of more than 1.4 million people in 46,000 plus clubs in 209, actually I was told 210, countries and geographical areas around the globe who are dedicated to making a difference, just like our humanitarian nominees today. It is an organization where the members enjoy fellowship, develop leadership skills, and dedicate part of their free time to help those in need in their own communities first, but also the rest of the world. It is our distinct pleasure to bring attention to these well-deserving people and honor them. Thank you for being here with us to celebrate all that they do to make this world a better place. Thank you.
International Director Mark and Lion John Hussein, I'm going to turn the program over to the three of you.
Before I go into this, I'm going to break protocol here. I go to a hell of a lot of Lions meetings, and I don't think this has ever been done. Are you ready? All non-Lions and nominees, get up and give yourself a round of applause. Get up! Get up! In case anybody is wondering about the snow, there's a building in the back that has bed bumps in it. So if we get stuck here, I want a high bump. The rest can be lower. Tonight we are honoring 13 people. And just to give you a quick run through, because I'm sure we all forget, we have a master gardener. This one is very interesting, a silent partner that works behind the scenes. We have a Parks and Rec director, a teacher, a coach, firefighter, an EMT, a fire chief. A restaurant owner, a community leader, an activist for the needy, a therapeutic writing instructor, and a mother of a town. All right, we're going to start off with Colchester. Catherine Kozowski and President Anne Marie Swickler. Oh, and before we continue, if I mess up your name, I humbly apologize, because if you have a name like Greasy or Grise, you get all type of things. Michelle Wyatt? Oh, there you are. Catherine is a master gardener and mainstay of the Colchester community. She's been the Colchester Garden Club president since 2007. Board member of the Connecticut Master Gardener Association from 2015 to 2018. Member of the Colchester Land Trust since 2006. And she's been the driving force behind the 2010 effort to certify Colchester as a National Wildlife Federation Community Wildlife Habitat. Wow. Oh, and before I go on, I'm not going to be reading everybody's long letter, because some of these, you know, again, when you get in the 60s, you kind of lose your eyesight a little, and some of this fine print is a real pain. For more than a decade, Catherine has helped to beautify Colchester and spread kindness, working with the town planner, working with local high school students to freshen up the school grounds, organizing events for Earth Day. Catherine is there with a smile on her face. She reintroduced previously abandoned butterfly gardens at the Ruby and Elizabeth Cohen Woodlands and developed education sites for nature enthusiasts of all ages. To the town of Colchester, she's a very, very, oh, there you are, valuable asset.
From the office of the First Selectman, Catherine Kasiba, whereas she congratulates you on the nomination for the Colchester Lions Humanitarian, the district, and whereas Catherine has been a Colchester Garden president since 2007, as well as a board member of the Connecticut Master Association for 2015 to 2018. And whereas Catherine, as a master gardener, has worked to beautify Colchester by tending to town planters and freshening up our areas while spreading cheer throughout the town. And whereas Catherine has dedicated her time and knowledge to assist in redesigning the Lions Club's local pond and educate and advise on the proper care of the plants. And whereas Catherine has been a member of the Colchester Land Trust since 2006, and whereas Catherine has been responsible for the effort in 2010 to certify and then maintain Colchester as a National Wildlife Federation Community Wildlife Habitat. And whereas Catherine has worked to reinvigorate previously abandoned butterfly gardens and develop educational sites for national enthusiasts of all ages at our Ruby Cohen National Woodlands. Now, therefore, on behalf of the town of Colchester, Connecticut, I do by here acknowledge and celebrate the dedication and personal commitment to Catherine. she has made this town, and congratulate you on this accomplishment. Signed, Mary Bylaw.
Ladies and gentlemen, Colchester.
State Senator Norm Needleman and State Rep Irene Haynes just arrived, so they have proclamations also.
Just a great honor to be here. Sorry we rushed in. We came from the Eagle Scout Awards ceremony. We're doing awards all day today, so wonderful, and thank you for all your commitment and hard work.
So we have a citation from the General Assembly today, and introduced by Senator Norm Needleman and myself. Be it hereby known to all that the Connecticut Senate and state representatives have offered sincerest congratulations to Catherine in recognition for receiving the Lions Club of District 23C 2020 Humanitarian Award. As president of the Colchester Garden Club, a board member of the Connecticut Master Garden Association, and a key role in certifying our town as a National Wildlife Federation Community Wildlife Habitat, you have distinguished yourself as a true force of good within our community. We thank you for the many hours of service dedicated to the beautification and stewardship of Colchester and our environment. The entire membership extends its very best wishes on this memorial occasion and expresses the hope for continued success, given this 18th day on January at the state capitol and also here at St. Clements. Signed by President Pro Tem Martin Looney and Secretary of State Denise Merrill.
Hello, everyone. We just finished dinner. We're looking outside, and the weather is getting worse. So we're leaving now. Harry?
As the saying goes, we are here in Portland, but we are heading for the hills of Harwinton. So, but we had a great time here, and the honorees, I'm sure, have done great things. The first one was a master gardener with quite a resume. But that'll do it for this episode of Lying Around Connecticut with Carol and Harry. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed our show this evening. Tune in next week for another Lying Around Connecticut with Carol and Harry. Good night.
Bye-bye.